Jake Paul versus Mike Perry takes place tomorrow night, and these are my predictions for the fight. Obviously, we were meant to be getting Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. I think this fight's better. Obviously, in terms of name value, it isn't as big, but it's still I think it's a better fight, to be honest. I think this will be a lot more competitive than what Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul will be, and that's actually crazy to say that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul won't be competitive, but I really just don't think it will be. I think Mike Tyson is just too old. He's had to pull out already with complications with his health. The guy's gonna be like 60 when the fight. I just don't think that's going to end well for Mike Tyson. But anyway, right now we've got Mike Perry versus Jake Paul, and I'm looking forward to this fight because I think it's going to be interesting. I think Mike Perry will definitely offer Jake Paul a lot of problems in there. He'll make Jake Paul dig deep. He's going to have to show a lot of heart in there because Mike Perry will not stop coming forward. He always comes to fight. Jake Paul's going to have to deal with Mike Perry's pressure and his pace. He's going to be in Jake Paul's face all night. He will not take a back step in there. Now, Mike Perry, as we all know, is a former UFC fighter, but has mainly made his name in Bare Knuckle FC. The guy's beaten a lot of big names over there, like MVP, Luke Rockhold, Eddie Alvarez. The guy is called the King of Violence over in Bare Knuckle FC. But Bare Knuckle boxing and traditional boxing are very, very different, in my opinion. The fighting style in there and the footwork, etc. The rules obviously are a lot different in traditional boxing than what they are bare knuckle. Mike Perry has had a boxing fight before in that like a triangle ring. It was on like a Jake Paul event, I think, or a Triller event anyway. Mike Perry has boxed on there before, but this will be Mike Perry's first actual boxing fight. And I'm going to be interested to see how his fight style will work because obviously Jake Paul, I think he's an average level fighter, to be honest. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with someone like Mike Perry, who is so tough, is so durable, and like I said, will just constantly be on the front foot. Now, this has kind of got a bit more interest in this fight because Jake Paul, he has made weight, but it was on a second attempt, which I think makes this fight a bit more interesting as I don't really think Jake Paul has great cardio as it is. I think we've seen in previous fights before his cardio does kind of dip, and this fight he really will need his cardio in there because like I said, Mike Perry will constantly be putting Jake Paul on the back foot. He'll be roughing him up. Mike Perry is literally the definition of a brawler. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jake Paul's going to look in there because like I said, if his cardio isn't on point, he is in for a really, really long night in there against Mike Perry. Now, Jake Paul hasn't missed weight before in any of his other fights. He hasn't even missed weight this time, let's be honest. But I think Jake Paul has struggled with this weight cut, and there is an understandable reason. He was moving up to heavyweight to fight Mike Tyson. That was the plan for this date. Obviously, Mike Tyson then, the fight had to be postponed due to medical issues surrounding Mike Tyson. So they got Mike Perry in, and they have made it at a new weight, which is the cruiserweight weight limit. Now again, Mike Perry normally doesn't fight at this weight either, so he is putting on size to be able to make this weight. So it'll be interesting to see, will Mike Perry be able to keep up the same pace? How will Mike Perry move with more muscle on him, more weight? Obviously, Mike Perry, this will mean he will punch a lot harder in there because he will be a lot heavier. But will Mike Perry's gas or his engine be able to keep up with this weight? There's a lot of unanswered questions going into this fight, and I am really looking forward to it. Now, I think Jake Paul will win this fight. I think Jake Paul will do a good job of landing his jab, his 1-2 to the body, then the left hook is a combination he lands, which I think is really clean, to be honest, in fairness to him. Jake Paul, say what you want about him, the guy does pack a lot of power in his punches. I think he will drop Mike Perry in and around the sixth or seventh round. I think the first 5 to 6 rounds will be really up in the air with Mike Perry just making it brutal, a lot of clinching, working Jake Paul's body, etc. But I think in and around the fifth, sixth, seventh round, I think Jake Paul will be able to find that shot to hurt Mike Perry. I definitely do think Jake Paul will drop Mike Perry in this fight. I don't think he will be able to beat Mike Perry. I think Mike Perry will be able to hold on, but I do think Jake Paul will win this by decision. I think it will be a really close fight, and the fact that they've got Jake Paul as such a favourite going into this fight is crazy in my opinion. I think Jake Paul will win this by unanimous decision, but I think it will be close, and I think Mike Perry will definitely have his moments in there, but I do think Jake Paul will be able to just edge it out over Mike Perry. Like I said, Jake Paul Obviously, he doesn't have the amount of combat sports experience like Mike Perry, but he has really dedicated himself to the art of boxing. His team that he's got is probably the best money can buy. This guy's got the best trainers, the best people for strength and conditioning, etc. So Jake Paul will be ready to go in there. I think Jake Paul will show his class, which is funny to say Jake Paul class in terms of boxing, but I do think he is more of an elite boxer than Mike Perry. I am very interested though in seeing this fight, but let me know your opinions in the comments below. Who do you think takes it? I'm taking Jake Paul by unanimous decision. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Get your Charles Oliveira graphic tees. They are linked on the TikTok profile. That will take you to the Shopify where you can get them. Great quality in t-shirt and print, and they are very affordable. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you again in the next one.